Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest episode number 3. It is Monday, Memorial Day, actually, that we're recording this on.
Day,
yes. We got Ms. 5000 Watts, we got Eric's, and we got Briar Rabbit on the show per usual. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello. It's good.
All good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm definitely doing good. I'm excited.
I have played so much Gambit in the last 3 days that I don't even want to talk.
You gambited out, Briar?
I have Gambited out.
Good, because you better be 700. I swear, man, if you're not 700. Oh.
I finally looked the other day, trying to sort of get caught up on the Destiny stuff, like because I've been in, like for the first time since Destiny 1 Alpha, I've been out the loop on this, and then we looked the other day and we were sort of chatting to the guys like, do you reckon we could get gear ready in time for the raid? Bearing in mind we haven't played since Black Armory. It was like,
yeah.
Maybe we could do it. It's like, no, not with E3 around the weeks. Like maybe the next raid will do. I'll come back for the next raid.
My highest light level character, as of we recorded the Planet Destiny podcast a week and a day ago. My highest light level character was 650.
Oh,
yeah, we're cracking the whip on Briar and France. Man. We got to make sure they.
There's been some emotionally supportive DMs for Briar.
I don't feel like it's been supportive at all.
Like, man, I don't want to play any more Gambit. What the hell? Man? He's like, no, you got to do it. Do it.
You must. Guys, we got a great show today.
We have a super good show.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
What
I think it's mediocre at best.
Okay, we got a mediocre show, guys. First topic.
What?
We're going to be talking about...
I guess we could crank it up a notch, right?
Oh,
crank it up a notch.
It's a top 3 show. Top 3 show.
Top 3.
First topic, right? Playdate.
First topic is we're talking about the Playdate, which if you guys didn't hear, people could describe it as a Game Boy with crank. But basically it's a like square, it's a perfectly square, very slim portable gaming device that has your standard kind of D-pad and 2 buttons, D-pad. And there's also a crank. So some of the games that are going to be coming out on this use the crank exclusively. Some of them kind of use a mixture of both.
Can you describe exactly? So like when you say the crank, it sounds like a joke. Is it legit a crank that's attached to the thing?
There's a crank attached. There it is.
So for our audio listeners, Eric's is holding up a picture of the Playdate.
Let me quickly describe it for the audio listeners. Let me quickly describe it. It's a square, okay, and there's a screen on the top half that's a little bit offset to the left. There's 2 buttons and a digital control pad on the bottom. It's very thin. It looks about the size of an iPhone, maybe it looks
about
of an iPhone,
half an inch thick.
Yeah. So
and the big feature that like you see right away is a crank on the side of it. A literal crank.
So
like
the games are going to utilize this fact that you have to actually crank something. It's like that's
right.
A physical crank to associate with the game to have something be cranked.
So it can, but then apparently they said that like it's like when kind of companies introduce other like gimmicks like motion control and stuff. It's one of those things that not all games will or have to use the crank. So you can have some games that will just be conventional D-pad and buttons, but then the crank is there as an additional thing. So they did like a demonstration for one of them, where it's like a game where you can mess with time, and you crank to move your character forward.
Back? Oh my god!
But then you crank it backwards, and you go back in time, and then you're like, so it's
okay. That's awesome. Yeah.
I want a music game that uses the crank to adjust the
That
timing.
would be
of the
amazing.
That'd be cool.
That would actually be a really cool kind of innovation of the motion.
Yeah, there's a couple other really cool features about this. There's the crank. The screen is black and white. Apparently, it's not grayscale. It is just black and white. So it's either the pixels on or a pixel off.
Interesting.
Right? So it has a resolution of 400 by 240, which apparently is around 4 times the pixels of Game Boy screen. So although it is black and white, and it's like, and it's like this, it's not like it's using some modern hardware in there. It's not like just a old school
That's right.
thing.
But it's made by a company called Panic. Panic made, was it the game called Firewatch?
Firewatch.
I believe did they make it or did they publish it? I forgot. I think they started publishing games, right?
It's publisher. Publisher of Firewatch and an Untitled Goose game.
Untitled Goose? I actually like that name, Untitled Goose.
Yeah, I think they should keep it. That's a keeper. Don't change that name. They used to make like Mac apps and stuff like that. So like it's a company that's been around for a while, but this is the first time they made any hardware. It's kind of an out of left field announcement. Here's the cool thing though. The games are going to come. This thing's going to get released early in 2020.
Okay.
The games are going to come once a week. So once you get this thing, once a week, there's going to be a new game available for it. So apparently it's going to have Wi-Fi. You're going to be able to connect this thing to Wi-Fi to be able to download these games.
Check this out. The way that it's delivered makes me really happy. So every Monday via Wi-Fi, owners receive a new game. There's a notification light on the top of the case, and it blinks to announce its arrival.
Isn't that cool? I
like that.
It's incredible. Cool. It's so cool.
So for 12 weeks, expect that SideQuest is going to be talking about the Playdate new game.
Yep.
In 2020.
She's sitting there like, what's the new game, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually
this
really
thing's
cool.
only going to cost $150, and it looks like it's going to be a great toy. The thing just exudes joy. I think it's the color and like the shape of it. It just looks like it's going to be fun to play with.
So,
right?
so the Playdate.
Happy.
So the Playdate is every Monday getting a new game. That's your Playdate. Is like what they're going with.
Yeah, and they kind of described it initially as well as like you can kind of get together with your friends or talk to them, through the internet and be like, hey guys, what's that new game? Do you like the game? How far have you gotten? And it's kind of setting up this Playdate of forcing social interactions between friends every Monday.
So wait, it's a multiplayer and all that as well?
I don't know if there'll be any multiplayer. Probably not.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You can just discuss it with your buds.
Yeah, so everybody who has a Playdate get to talk about it. It's
this kind of reminds
it's like a book
me.
club.
It is. It's like a book club.
That's a great
It's a little bit like that. Yeah,
that's actually really cool. Yeah,
you get a new book each week, and you come and talk about it next week. Yeah.
I hope it comes out on Monday morning and not Monday evening, because I would really want to be able to talk about it when it's live on SideQuest.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
We're already making plans.
Maybe it'll come out during the show. So there'll be a segment in the show where we're like, wait,
Playdate.
We all just look down.
It's blinking.
Or maybe it'll go as like old school devices where you can go and like change the clock date and be like, it's actually Monday.
There
so
you go.
Just, like,
oh my gosh.
mess of the time. And one of the funny excerpts from the interview as well is that like they had a plan. It didn't make it to the final thing, but they had this plan where they were going to put a color screen like on the back behind like the plate. So then the 12th game, they would encourage you to then take the plate off the back. It's like, surprise, it's got a color screen. Sounded really cool.
Way.
But then they were like, that's just a bit too much hardware to try and actually put into it. So they were like, we're not going to bother doing that. And plus, I feel like that surprise would have been ruined because there's always someone that as soon as a new console comes out, the first thing they do is like, let's take it apart and see what's inside. It's like, okay.
Yeah. They're like, there's a color screen in the back. What the hell?
You're like, what is this?
That would be really funny.
And there'll be like some uproar. But yeah, that would be, it's cool. I mean, it's a shame though. It only comes, I mean, it looks really cool, but I would like it in red, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. Different colors, right?
I think
like
the yellow
Pikachu yellow?
It's supposed to exude happiness, sunshine and happiness. And I'm so happy.
This is definitely one of those things, though, where it's like, oh, I want the pink one, the blue one, the green one, the yellow one, the orange one. Like, the custom color one.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to sell it to you to begin with, and then be like, Season 2, there's a blue one. Like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
So, does the season subscription type of stuff come with the purchase of the console itself? Like, if you own a Playdate,
it must,
right?
So it says, so the Playdate will cost $149, and then all 12 games in Season 1 will be included with no extra charge.
Okay, so it's season based. So then, 2021 potentially has a Season 2, or later 2020. As a Season 2 where you can, I wonder what that's going to cost. And I also wonder how deep these games are. Because like on one end, we already have technically a phone that can play basic games right now.
But it don't have no crank.
Ain't no crank. That is one thing.
And it doesn't blink when a new game's available.
That's true. Yeah. Automated delivery service of a new game. Yeah.
So, like the gameplay, kind of to speak on like how deep it will be. I'm sure it's a bit deeper than this, but I don't know if you guys remember those super old handheld machines that had just one game in it.
But like Tiger
Electronics.
That's
like
those were terrible.
They were great.
They had no end game. The loot was terrible.
They were amazing. I love those. But I think that's also why it makes me feel kind of happy, is because I played those when I was a kid, and I just have this one game, and I have this huge collection of all these different one game things, and it's kind of reminds me of that, like a updated modern version.
Yeah, I can see that.
I I kind of hope that the games are like different enough between like
same, yeah.
All the 12 games. That, like,
yeah.
Kind of, one game might not be your thing, but the next game might be really cool. And if they do seasons, right? Like if it's a subscription fee for like season 2, or you can just buy like a blue one, like Eric said, like that'd be cool too.
yeah.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
Maybe they'll have like a new crazy edition where like for season 2 they sell you like a different crank that you can then just like modify your Playdate.
2 cranks.
Crank modifiers?
Yeah. Oh, imagine that. They're just gonna be listening to this podcast be like, that's a great business idea. Let me just write that down.
Exactly. They're like, well, we got a plan now.
If you see it here, if Playdate season 2 has double cranks, we need some royalties.
That's hilarious.
Indeed.
But at that price, it's not like you feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like super invested in a platform for $150, right? If like they do season 1 on, the current Playdate, then season 2 comes out and it's got like a different set of, instead of a crank, it's got, like a lever or something, like they could do kind of different things each time they make one. And as long as it sells well, I would guess that they could just keep doing it.
Yeah. And I'd imagine also like Amazon might end up selling it for like say 120 or something like that. I'm assuming that's MSRP, the 149. So
yeah, but you're not going to want to get this later, right? You're going to want to get it when it comes out so that you can be playing those 12 games while they're in the zeitgeist.
I don't know, man. Like
that's going to be half the fun.
The thing about it though is like you get it, and let's say the games are good, and somebody's like, "Oh, you need to buy this," and you buy it, and you have 12 games, for like $100 that are portable. I think as long as the games are good, just like I said, if you get some crap games,
they look pretty fun.
Do they actually show video of some of them?
There is a short video of one of them using the crank to walk and go backwards. It just looks fun. It just makes me happy. I don't know. They've nailed the thing that makes me kind of feel like a kid. And there's just like this happy little console thing where every Monday you get a new game. I think that's what really got me excited, is that you don't just buy it and then you buy the games, but you're actually getting games delivered to you every week.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I've got that kind of sort of like, it's almost like that sort of thing that you expect from Nintendo. It's why, whenever kind of people sort of say like, why do you like Nintendo games so much? Like for me, some other games might have like a lot more story, a lot more depth, but like Nintendo is just great at just embodying pure fun. Yeah. Like if you just literally just boil it down to it. And I think that's what like, a lot of my fondest memories are from like handheld games on like Nintendo systems. And that's when I first saw that, even before I knew about the games, just seeing the device, like it just looks like a fun device. Like I'll just buy it even though I don't know what's on it.
Absolutely.
It totally has Nintendo vibes to it too.
Yeah, definitely.
Even the yellow color reminds me of Pikachu.
Yeah, I was gonna say the crank is kind of like Labo-ish, like the Nintendo Labo type of thing going on. True. Yeah,
and in a world with like where we're just inundated with like microtransactions and loot boxes and like buy this to so you can spend more money faster. This thing, you buy it, it comes with 12 games, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no add-on, like, that we know of. Like, you just get this in 12
probably
games.
A season 2.
I think that's cool.
Right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Assuming that it's good. People pick it up and like it and all that. Yeah. There is something to be said about mobile games that are designed for a platform that are just right for that. Like, that's why the Game Boy was so successful. It's like the games were just...
the Game Boy.
They fit the
I just spent $150 on an actual Game Boy, like an old school. So this is like a bargain.
It's just kind of nice that you have this very simple kind of handheld thing that you get these specifically curated games for, and you just play by yourself and just kind of enjoy it, have a good time. It's kind of getting back to the roots of what gaming was for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it.
Cool.
I will have one.
Playdate looks cool. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, this thing looks super cool. Next up, Dauntless. So, Eric, you put this one in the chat. What's going on with Dauntless?
So it has finally, just the other week, what was it, on Monday, Tuesday, one of those days, it's finally officially released. So up until this point, it's always been in pre-alpha. So,
Wait a minute. Did this game come out before Monster Hunter World?
It did.
So it came out it came out in pre-alpha. So in order to play it back then, you had to have, and I mean, this is one of those kind of things that had a bit of a kind of interesting debate, because back then, if you wanted to get into the pre-alpha, you had to have bought a founder's pack. So you had to have paid money to be able to get into it.
Yeah.
Now it has released now officially on PS4, Xbox One, and PC as free to play. So now nobody needs to pay anything to play it.
Oh.
So there has been that kind of discussion going around, be like, we just kind of screw over the founders, but then it's also been out for like a year, so the founders have had like a year of access. I mean,
they have an input for it too. Right?
Exactly right. So there's merits to both sides, but basically it's now come out, which is available on console as well, which is great. It is a game that, so for anyone that doesn't necessarily know what Dauntless is, it is a hunting genre game. There are parallels you can draw with Monster Hunter. I always say to people, if you play Monster Hunter and you're going to go and check out Dauntless, like, it's a great game. Don't go in just initially trying to compare it to Monster Hunter. Same thing I said to people when you play things like God Eater, because if you go into these games being like, is it Monster Hunter? It's not going to be Monster Hunter. But there are things, but if you like those kind of games, then, you go out, you play as a Slayer. There's currently 5 different weapon types you can choose from. There are these giant beasts called Behemoth. You go and you farm them, you kill them, you get parts from them, go back and make armor and weapons, and so the cycle goes on. So it's another hunting game. But yeah, it's nice that it's now available on console, because I know there are a lot of people that wanted to kind of check it out before, and it's actually gone through quite a lot of improvements. So I've been playing it since the very beginning. I haven't, a little bit like the newest update, I haven't had a chance to dive into fully, but I've been playing since the early alpha. And since then, the weapons have evolved. They've given them more moves. They've fleshed out like the Behemoth. They fleshed out the whole progression system for the game. There's a lot more stuff for you to do. So it's definitely in a good place. I mean, given that yes, there are, it has a model in it that's very similar to, say, the Fortnite season pass, in that there are seasons.
There's like a battle pass,
there's
right?
gear. That's it. Yeah. So
I kind of like battle passes. Just to say really quick, I kind of like them, and I wouldn't actually mind them being in other games, just because it gives you this thing every season where it's like, I get to work towards
targets
these
to work
goals.
for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I think it's always nice to have something to aim for. This one in Dauntless, I think it's very similar in Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite like much, so I'm not too familiar. But I think in Dauntless, there's a free path that everyone can kind of go along, and you can earn things as you progress. And there's then like an elite path that you buy into that has more rewards. Now, my understanding is pretty much everything in the elite path is just cosmetic, so cool costumes and skins and transmog. And there's a lot of cool costumes as well. There's like some really nice aspects that you can transmog in the game, so you can get some really cool looking characters.
And as a free to play game, it should be, right? It should just be cosmetics, right? For a battle pass.
Exactly, yeah.
Otherwise, it'll be bad.
Yeah,
if it's
pay to win.
Any kind of pay to win is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, I did see a post the other day, like because I haven't had a chance to dive into this one too much. Someone did mention there are some items that you can occasionally get.
Oh, Eric's froze. Oh no! Sound the alarms.
He always freezes with the best faces.
Eric's is currently in deep thought, guys.
He's really thinking about this next part. Don't worry, guys. It's gonna be great. I guess so. Well,
wait. Oh, is he back?
Oh no, I'm back. Hello, hi.
Unfortunately, the thing happened again where you paused mid discussion. And
no.
So it was. I think it was talking about there's stuff that you can buy.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
okay.
It was. Yeah, I saw a post from someone who loosely said, like, I can't remember the exact wording, so I'm not going to kind of like drill down it too much. But someone basically said there are some items you can get through the Elite Track Pass that either through selling them or then using them in a certain way can somewhat link to power gains.
Oh,
so
okay.
There might loosely be able to make that link between paying for power. I think it's kind of a slightly longer stretch, and
so it's like shortcutting. He's shortcutting the grind.
I think it was something like that. I need to try and dig out the post. I'll see if I can find it in the background. But
okay.
But I think the main thing to kind of like to draw home from this is, like, irrespective of that, in a game like this, it's not a competitive game. You're not competing against anyone really. Like, you're just like largely speaking doing that. So if you're someone that ultimately were ever to pay for power, it's like when they introduced stuff like that in, what was it? Was it Far Cry? One of the Far Cries earlier had like a load of like microtransactions and stuff. It's like, if you're going to pay for that stuff in a single player game, you're only really cheating yourself. Yeah, it's like you're only really cheating yourself, right? I mean, like, if I say, I can defeat this behemoth a little bit quicker because I spent my own money, it's like, all right, but then that's on you, right? It's not like I'm going to be beating you to like a raid finish because I spent £10, right?
Yeah, you're cutting your experience from the single player because you don't want to spend as much time on it. And that's up to you.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey for like $10, I think you could like double the XP that you earned.
Yeah, some crap like that.
And I think the controversy was
it's a single player game. You're just kind of
but the controversy was, well, did you balance the game so that it just takes forever? Like, you're just grinding forever.
And then they did ultimately put out a patch to fix some of those things because they realized, it was blown out of proportion.
But this is free to play.
Yeah.
And it's co-op, right?
Well, here's the thing. Yes. Here's the thing about Dauntless that I think is incredible. This is, just like you said, free to play. It's cross-save and cross-play, right?
Yes.
Is it like legit cross-play?
3 platforms, Xbox, PS4, and PC, legit cross-play and cross-save. Finally in 2019.
Coming to Switch?
I don't know.
Was that for Switch?
Is it coming to Switch?
I think there was a message. There was a rumor the other day, or like something that I think they're planning to try and work on it. I think there was even plans for like a mobile version at some point as well, but that's like much further down the line. So at the moment, just these 3.
Just as a Destiny player, this just makes me go, oh my god! Please pave the pathway.
This is super
for
exciting.
Games to be like this, yeah.
Super excited because Fortnite was like this huge thing in the industry, right? And it was kind of like people were saying, well, yeah, Fortnite's just so big that PlayStation and Sony were like, sure. But Dauntless isn't a game that is this giant, crazy game. And they've been able to have cross-save, cross-play.
Yeah.
So that makes me just excited as a gamer that maybe in the future for all games, it will just be standard that you can play with whatever console, whatever platform.
Sony seems to still be the holdout on this, right? Is they still want to block these deals, because they really are trying to protect, their lead in the console generation.
That seems to be the biggest thing.
Nintendo and Microsoft have been working a bunch on different, getting games cross-platform, and obviously the PC is easy peasy. So even if it's just those 3 and they leave Sony out because they don't want to play nice with others.
But the thing
see how that goes for them in the long run. Right?
The thing is, Dauntless is finally like they put the pole in the ground. Like, this is official. We have a triple platform cross-play, cross-save game that's awesome. Happening, which makes it now go. It's like, okay, well, if it's working here, why not put it into other AAA titles? Like,
I think we will see it in more AAA titles.
I think we will.
I don't see a future where Destiny doesn't have that. I don't see a future where like almost all games, especially grindy online games, don't have that, because sometimes you're going to want to play on your PC, sometimes you're going to want to play on your TV, and sometimes you're going to want to play on your Switch when you're out, and about.
It's just going to sell more hardware and more copies of games. I agree. Just straight up, it's going to sell more.
I feel like there's going to come a point where, at the moment, like Sony being protective because they're ahead right now. Because I know it's always like the running joke, like, Xbox doesn't have any exclusives, PS4's got all of them. But like, fast forward to like the next generation. Obviously, we don't know how it's going to pan out just yet. But this is kind of something I was chatting to someone about the other day. It's going to be a really interesting shift, and I feel like the next generation is where I could genuinely see Microsoft bringing their kind of lead back, because they're going to have a crazy value proposition when it comes to launch, because every time a new console comes out, everyone's always like, what game do I buy? Because a new console isn't cheap, right? So for most people, if they can buy a console in one game, right? Now Microsoft has been they're behind at the moment, but they've been making such a huge push for Game Pass. Now fast forward to when the next Xbox comes out and that console launches with 3 months of free Game Pass, which gives you every single launch game. Suddenly it's like, do I buy an Xbox 2 with 12 launch games, or do I buy a PS5 with 1 game? It's like, well, it's like a no-brainer. They're going to have such a strong launch, and while that might not be easy to maintain, because obviously if they still have exclusives, that's going to go nowhere. If they can do that, and then because they've been acquiring so many studios, I could genuinely see like Microsoft retaking that lead. And if they do that and they can hold on to that, PlayStation will be like, about that crossplay. You want to talk now?
In addition to that, is there's strong reasons to believe that your Xbox One games will be compatible with the next Xbox, and you could even see Microsoft upgrading the visuals on those Xbox One games, like they've done with 360 games on the Xbox One, right? So like, I get the Game Pass, and all my old games look better on this new machine. Sold.
Yeah. I feel like Xbox, Microsoft got put into a position where they really had to reevaluate what made the customer happy, and I think we're going to see the fruits of that with this next generation. Just like I said, I mean, that's an incredible proposition. If you have 12 launch titles, and let's say 6 of them are decent, I'm not expecting all 12 of them to be like knockouts, but like, let's say 6 of them are decent, and maybe a couple of them are like, wow, these are fantastic for a battle pass as a launch console. Like that's a huge value proposition.
That's crazy, right? Yeah.
So I'm thinking just to think more about battle passes and stuff that's in Dauntless, and we're starting to see it kind of picked up by other places. It seems like it might be a really good thing to do for just free to play games in general, or any games that have some type of, maybe it's partly free to play, partly, you buy some content for it. But it just seems like it's a really nice way to give stuff for people to do and to gain some cool stuff. And it seems like, you don't have to create quests around it, right? There doesn't need to be this giant quest. It can be like you're just completing your battle pass.
Yeah.
So I think I think we're going to start seeing a lot more companies using some type of battle pass.
I hope not. I don't really agree with you that I don't like the battle pass system. To me, it's a way of creating a grind with no. The reward is just the completion of it, right? The reward is just like you get some
loot. The cosmetics.
Whereas I'd much rather have the reward be like this cool, like this cool campaign and this cool story, and like I just don't see free to play games kind of.
What if they had both?
If somebody could pull that off, I'd be down. But it's not what I've seen out of battle passes.
Here's the thing, though: the battle pass is something that they can give with development time, whereas what you're asking for is considerably more development time for a well thought out quest.
Right.
So like,
well, they could even. So I'm kind of thinking that it could be possible for companies to do both, where they deliver like a seasonal campaign or something, and then they have the battle pass. Because battle pass, you can create with not using a ton of resources, because you don't have to use any of like the lore team, story team, like a Combatants team. You're just creating cosmetics, right? So the art team. And then you can have a whole other team working on all that other stuff. But then this battle pass has this not an easy way of giving content, but an easier way of giving content to people. Maybe that money helps them create other stuff. So I feel like it's a easier thing to give people on a frequent basis. To give them something.
This is the old man in me not willing to give in to the the next generation.
It's because it was Fortnite that made it.
But I still like buying something up front and not being asked to pay. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I still like that business model better. Like the Playdate, to me, that's a really interesting business model. I buy it up front. I get 12 games and my expectations are fulfilled, as opposed to getting something for free, but always being expected to pay a little bit. Like there's no,
I understand that.
There's no end game in sight as far as how much I'm going to give these people.
Yeah. I guess where the line gets drawn for me is when it's not in a free to play game. Like free to play games, I'm okay with them monetizing with the battle pass, because it's free to play and it's cosmetics that come out of there. So I'm like, all right, well, free to play, the time I invest, if I get a battle pass, that's like the trade-off. But if it's a title that I'm actually spending money on initially, and then they have like a battle pass type of thing, like if that starts happening, in fact, did COD do something like that? No, COD hasn't done anything like that. If a company goes down that path where you buy the title and then buy a battle pass, then I think
I wouldn't want to have I wouldn't want to pay a full price of a game and have a battle pass every single season and
I'm pretty sure the most recent COD has a battle pass.
Yeah. See that? That's a big no for me.
But that's because it's their.
That's because it's COD.
It's because it's Activision.
It's Activision. They're like, let's have it. All of it. All these angles.
I'm pretty sure that the most recent COD for their Battle Royale.
Yeah.
They have a paid battle pass for their paid game.
I'm pretty sure. I'd have to double check. Maybe chat can help us out.
So that type of stuff is a big yikes. That's hard yikes right there. When it's a free to play game, I'm like, okay, well, it's free to play. I didn't spend any money to initially pay or to play it, and if I'm spending a bunch of time playing the game, I don't mind giving $20 for the devs to continue making the game. If it's Activision selling battle passes, I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think the landscape of gaming in general has changed drastically, even in the past, 4 years. It's changed a lot. You went from basically arena shooters being the thing to now battle royale is the thing. People are doing more microtransactions, more type of battle pass stuff. It's things are changing. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah,
because we've seen a lot of changes in a very short period of time.
Was Apex season a pass that you pay for?
Yes.
It was?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
But like most of them now, there's a free version and then also the paid version. You get more cool stuff in the paid version, and you can earn back all, if not just some of your money that you paid for it by completing the battle pass.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know we've strayed away from Dauntless, but I'm watching video of it, and it looks really good. It's got definitely a Fortnite kind of like cell shaded look to it. Yeah, but I like the way it looks. It looks cool. Like the looks fire, like you got a fire sword and it lights the monster on fire.
Yeah,
when you hit him with it. That's cool.
It looks satisfying.
I want to check it out. Yeah, I want to check it out and really get into it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. There's definitely a lot of like, if you like those kind of things, or if you invest any time into obviously loot-based games, but also things like Monster Hunter and stuff. There's definitely a lot of fun to be had, and the fact that you can, without even having to kind of dip into things like Battle Pass and stuff, like a game like that will give you plenty of hours before you even need to think about approaching something like that, because early game, it's all about you craft the early gear, you fight the early monsters, and then kind of it gets a lot more challenging, and some of the end game ones are pretty challenging. I was kind of went to fight someone the other day, so there's definitely without question, it's a game you could fully download and you could easily get a good like 60 hours out of it before you think, all right, maybe I should maybe I'll look into this Battle Pass, or maybe I'll just put it out. But yeah, it's for something that's free to play, I feel like there's no reason why people shouldn't check it out, because it's a lot of fun.
Free to play, cross-play, which
is amazing. So we can just play anywhere and play with literally everyone that's in chat.
Yeah, right. That's so cool. Amazing. Apparently the servers are getting hit pretty hard. People are saying the queue times are long to get in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're having a lot of people jump in and be like, "Yo, sweet, let's try this."
Yeah.
When did it go live?
The last week.
I believe it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like Thursday last week, or
I think it was earlier.
Like Tuesday,
last week, I believe Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. Yeah,
it is Memorial Day weekend in the U.S., so I would expect a lot of people to be playing video games this week.
And it's bank holiday.
There's nobody in
England, so
Gambit.
Nobody.
Maybe you're just too good, Briar. Okay, maybe you're too good.
That's clearly it.
Or you're too bad, and they can't find anyone.
That's much more likely.
21st of May. 21st of May is when it went live.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's great. Okay. It's exciting to see something like that happen.
That's cool.
Eric, so you said that there's 5 weapons right now in the game?
Yes, there is a sword, kind of your generic kind of like early sort of beginning weapon, which is decently fast, decently kind of good damage output, pretty cool. There's an axe, which is probably my favorite one.
Nice.
It's pretty like slow hitting, and it's got like a charge mechanic,
like a great sword.
But then when you do charge it, basically like that. But you can use it faster. But if you charge it, they've got like a power meter you build up. But they added a new move into it where you can now throw the axe, and then when you bring it back, you jump up in the air and slam down. So it's really cool.
Oh, that does sound fun.
There's a gun hammer. So you can you basically use it as like a hammer, but then in between you can fire shells out of it. But you can then also turn it around, fire the shells, and use it to like launch yourself into the air.
Oh, I like the sound of this.
Sounds fantastic.
And there's like an advanced mechanic for it where like you can basically, if you get it down, I put it in I did some weapon tutorials this a while ago, where like you swing the hammer and then you can, you can use a shell to power up your hammer swing, but then if you put the right button input in, you can then reload that shell mid combo, so you can basically just kind of keep going like power up, reload, power up. So it's pretty cool. They then have a thing called the Warpike, which is kind of like a glaive, but you can also fire out like shots from it. So it's got like a little laser thing that you can like fire out. But it's sort of like you can move it's kind of like the insect glaive for Monster Hunter without the Kinsect components.
I like that.
Yeah. That's really cool. And they've recently added the Ostian repeaters, which are the guns. I haven't had too much experience with those ones, but they are like the revolvers.
That sounds really cool.
So yeah, this really.
I'm excited about all of that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. You had me at Gunhammer.
Gunhammer is that's a fantastic way to get somebody into.
Those are the magic words.
Yeah,
Gunhammer.
Are they? Is there any kind of like roadmap for them rolling out new weapons over time? Because like you said, they're just out of the repeaters, right?
Yeah, I'm not too sure at the moment. As far as I'm aware, I mean, because when they first did it in the alpha, they because it first came out with sword, gun, hammer, axe, and sorry, I'm forgetting one important weapon: chain blades. Chain blades are like 2 sickles with like a chain between them. You're super fast with them.
Like
you can do like an instant dash. You're basically like that, and then it's got a really cool mechanic where you can throw the chain blades onto the monster, pull yourself towards them. You can do loads of combos, and you can backflip away.
Sounds amazing.
Instead of having a dodge roll. Yeah, instead of having a dodge roll, you have like a ninja dash. You're like,
oh my god!
Yeah,
also, yes.
But when
I
it
think you
first
just
came out,
sold me on Dauntless. Like I'm checking this out. As soon as we're done with the raid,
press that download button.
That's actually
as
how
soon
I've
as
been
we're
looking
done
at it.
with
As soon as I'm
as
done
soon
with
as
the
we're
raid,
done with the Destiny
Dauntless
raid,
time.
I'm in for Dauntless.
yeah.
This would be a perfect like summer game, right? Because the summer's kind of like not much is happening, so you can jump in and just really get some good Dauntless time.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. It feels a lot better now as well, because I remember when I first played it, when I was sort of like testing it early, and I was playing on US servers. Obviously, I'm in the UK. Like a lot of the kind of hit detection was like quite laggy, so I didn't kind of get that nice experience. So when you're trying to like learn to dodge roll through attacks, I'm like, well, I definitely did roll that, but apparently the latency was like, nope. But now it's like it runs super smoothly and stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had with the weapons. But yeah, with regards to the roadmap, I mean, Austin repeaters were, I think, towards the end of. I think there's still quite a few months ago. I think it's like 2 or 3 months ago, something like that, maybe longer. So I feel like if they just like officially launched it, I feel like it might be like a little way out. But I'd like to think they'll kind of keep adding things.
That's great.
Yeah.
How diverse is the loot? Like if you're gonna go for, let's say you want to get the perfect set of hammer. What was it? Hammer gun. Gunhammer?
Gunhammer, yeah.
So you want to get like, is there multiple legendary gunhammers, or is there like one legendary gunhammer?
Yes, yeah. So much like it is for Monster Hunter, there are like weapons and armor for every single behemoth you fight. So
Beautiful.
you know, like each monster you go out, you farm that, you get your cool gear set, you get your weapon for that. There are some. This is one of the things that I haven't personally
been able to mouth right now.
Oh, dude, 100%. I'm like, you can farm for things from these guys. Yes. Yeah.
There's definitely also like I haven't. This is the one thing that I never got to experience, because it was kind of like towards the end of the cycle that I sort of took a break from it. But there is like the concept of, I forget, they might not be called this exactly, but there's concept of basically like legendary weapons. So they're more involved to get, and they fall within the categories that you have them, but they behave slightly differently. So for example, take the sword. Sword is like a mechanic where, you know, when you charge it up, you can then unleash a move which then imbues your sword with like whatever element you've got. But there's a special legendary version of that when you activate it, you basically get this sort of like demon form that you can then like dash around and like dash through things and stuff. So there are a few legendary weapons, or like the war pike. There's one where I believe it fires like a crazy like rainbow beam that's just like different to all the other beams. So there's some nice stuff to pursue. Basically.
That sounds fun.
That sounds really cool. Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. I need to play Dauntless.
What's the difficulty like in terms of, I guess, comparing it to Monster Hunter World, because that's probably what people have played most recently, that's somewhat similar?
Yeah, I would say, well, at least entry level and stuff like that, I didn't find it as challenging, because I feel like I feel like Dauntless is good because it's very easy to pick up. Like Monster Hunter is one of those things where even with World, where they made like loads of great quality of life changes, it's still quite a kind of tough barrier to entry. So I feel like it's definitely very easy to kind of get on with. Some of the end game stuff is definitely more challenging, because when I came back to do some videos recently and stuff and kind of just jumped in at the end, I was like, oh, I haven't prepared for this, and I kind of got slapped around a little bit. So I think it does ramp up quite a bit, and there have got like some ultra tough stuff, but I haven't kind of got too much experience with that, so I can't really talk on that too much.
Makes me want to play Dauntless.
Same.
Might have to slip it in this week in between raid prep.
There we go.
Bold move.
Prior, you're not allowed to do it. You have.
I swear to God, you better be 700 before you touch Dauntless.
He'll be raiding and be like, "Where's my gun hammer?" I mean, wait, sorry. I mean, my
bad drops, Tefty. It was all bad RNG. It's not my fault.
Oh man, hilarious.
Yo, guys, I got some really good news.
Let's have it.
Call of Duty. They're making a new game.
A new Call of Duty?
They're doing something really different. Yeah,
unexpected.
They're doing something really different here. They're, instead of going like World War II or World War I, they're going to the modern day. They're going to call it Modern Warfare.
No way.
Wow.
This is deja vu, man.
Has this happened before?
Tell me more. Tell me more. What is this modern warfare you speak of?
Yeah.
What
this
makes this warfare so modern?
Right? The game that put Call of Duty on the map is arguably Modern Warfare. I mean, Call of Duty 2 was a really good game as well, but Modern Warfare was that game. It created a zeitgeist. It made the 360, I think, the most powerful or the most popular console of its generation. It was everywhere. Everybody was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Then Modern Warfare 2, and then Modern Warfare 3 and like a bunch of
Black Ops 1, and that was like the heyday, right? Between that period of like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1 was just like that was all COD.
Golden days of COD.
Yeah.
So it's really funny. They're in 2019, Call of Duty Modern Warfare is coming out. So they're not calling it Modern Warfare 4. They're not calling it.
Is it going to be a brand new game? Like, is it going to be Modern Warfare 4, or is it a redo of Modern Warfare?
What we know about this is basically leaks and rumors, right?
Okay.
I think that the strongest inclination this is actually happening was when Jason Schreier tweeted out, I can confirm this is true, and it's hilarious. The first one was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. So obviously the fourth one is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Video games are absurd.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's funny.
Jason Schreier, the most popular person at Activision perennially, has kind of burst the bubble on this one.
The most beloved journalist.
Apparently they're calling it a soft reboot.
It's a soft reboot, man.
A soft reboot. What does that mean?
Right?
Does that mean that?
I think whenever they do that, I mean, to be fair, I could kind of see it happening as well. Because the thing is, like, whenever they do like a soft reboot, it basically, invariably, I always take it as like they revisit, a point that they knew was good for the series, and they're like, let's just try and start again from here. Because when you look at it, right. I know, like, the way the CODs like evolved, like Modern Warfare 2 were like some of the best times in Call of Duty. Like, people still like Black Ops and stuff, but then as it started to go, like, obviously there were a couple of different periods. I know some people like the kind of older day warfare and stuff, but I personally never really liked that. I find it kind of like I like modern day because you can it's more relatable with like items that you're familiar with, that you know about, versus like when you go back and use like an old kind of bolt action rifle, you're just like, this takes too long to load, let me just but then when they went too far in the future, people were like, they didn't like it because suddenly it became all about jumping through the sky, dashing through the sky, wall running and stuff, and they're like,
flying soldiers.
Exactly, right. Like COD was always about you have the grounded. I mean, that's why they use that term. Oh, when was it?
Boots on the ground.
Yeah, because it was. I think that was after Sledgehammer's one. After they did the first exosuits, they were like, "No, we're back boots on the ground." But then it still wasn't properly boots on the ground. And then some of the kill streaks have been so like crazy. The fact that you're getting like extra arms and going invisible and stuff. Like they want to go back to like Modern Warfare, where your kill streaks are, let me call in a helicopter, let me call it AC-130, let me put down like a claymore. And then I feel like if they do that, because the thing is, like, it's got to the point where for many years, COD, no matter what, just always just like number one on the charts, like blew it out of the park. Yeah. It would always be so good.
It still sells very well. It just doesn't grow like it used to, right? Like it's exactly. They can't say that this year we outsold last year by 20%, like they were doing back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree with Eric's on this one. Like, I totally think that they're rebooting this in an effort to like get Call of Duty back to where it was, but I think that they're completely missing the point of why Modern Warfare was so popular. It wasn't, I don't think it was because it was set in modern day, although that probably helps a little bit. It's like every other game was in World War II or fighting aliens. So Modern Warfare, it was like a different perspective. It was a different kind of look for games. But what really made Modern Warfare were the perks, earning rewards, like that was completely new to multiplayer gaming in a huge way. Also a very mature story where, people came away from Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 talking about the story, talking about the campaign in a way that most people don't talk about campaigns in shooters, right?
Yeah.
No, I know.
And
very true.
To me, what was so good about Modern Warfare was how different it was. It was a multiplayer shooter, sure, but like the perk system was brand new to shooters. There's just so many new ideas. Like being able to, I'm going to use my M16 and I'm going to get 500 kills, and then I'm going to get the gold, M16. So everybody on my team knows that I'm, better than them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff was brand new, and I think it was, and the gameplay felt awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it felt so good, even on a controller.
So it's kind of a right time, right place type of situation for Modern Warfare, right?
Well, it was completely new, completely like awesome ideas that have been copied to death since then. I mean, Call of Duty every year has perk system. They do a whole press conference every year about how they've changed the pick 10 system and the perk system and what's different about it. But essentially, it's just an evolution of that original perk system that was kind of first in Modern Warfare, and tons of other games have tried to do it too, but Modern Warfare is the game that did it. And so when they make another Modern Warfare, sure, it might have that Modern Warfare aesthetic, it might even have the campaign that people talk about, but is it going to have something brand new and fresh like Modern Warfare did, like revolutionary in the multiplayer space?
Yeah, it's really like it's touchy territory, because if they're going to take that name, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which is so iconic, like they gotta really nail it. They got to do something amazing with this. Otherwise, people are going to be like, "Wow, remember that soft reboot?
COD's
that
dead."
Sucked.
Yeah.
Remember that rehash that just tastes burnt? Yeah, like, yeah.
You know, in my head, Modern Warfare 4 is one of those titles like Halo, you know, Doom, like just revolutionized the genre, right? Just changed it in a way that it could never go back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess
so. That's all they got. That's the bar that they have to achieve.
Yeah,
that's the threshold.
Yeah, that's all that they got to nail. That's it.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. Yeah.
Roll it out with a cheeky battle pass. Laughing.
Yeah. Or maybe they do crossplay on all 3 platforms.
Actually, See, that would honestly. Well, if it's 60 FPS across the board and the same field of view, maybe, which they can do in multiplayer games because they don't have to worry about ending up having a million monsters on the screen when there's only supposed to be 30.
That's true. Yeah.
Which is the biggest problem with field of view sliders for a lot of like those kind of games, because the console just can't handle having that many things moving all at the same time and particles and all that stuff.
Yep.
But that would be the thing that would make a big difference, right? If you could play with everyone across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, the whole Call of Duty thing, I feel like they're always trying to grab something and not really hitting this, like, that innovation. Just like you were saying, Briar, it's like they did something innovative at the time that nobody was doing, and now everybody wants to everybody wants to rehash what they were doing. And
you know what they could do if they really wanted to, like, blow out of the park and just literally, like, bring everyone back. If they and this, it sounds like a crazy thing. They wouldn't even need to do anything crazy for, like, gameplay. They could bring it back and, like, reboot Modern Warfare and just be like, yo, we're releasing this. Not a single microtransaction, not a single other purchase. Just buy the game, have fun. If they just did that, right, people would be like, I'm sorry, what?
Is this the same Activision?
You're not going to sell me DLC? You're not going to sell me anything? Like, I'm just buying the game, just going to play it? Yo, sign me up. And everyone would be like, God is back.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like, that would be a curveball.
That would be, yeah. That'd be unexpected from them.
Also, didn't they release Modern Warfare like a couple of years ago as DLC, or like a 30? No, it was if you bought the extra edition of Call of Duty that year, like that was $30 more. You got basically a remake.
Yeah, you got a remaster
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
with multiplayer. Yeah, with multiplayer as well. Campaign and multiplayer.
Yeah, I played it for a little bit and I was like,
It didn't feel the same, right?
It doesn't feel the same, you know, because you're going back in time. So you're experiencing, you know, a lot of the quality of life things that maybe they've put in since then. Because I don't enjoy Call of Duty anymore, but there's definitely been quality of life things that make it feel more smooth, more responsive, all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard because you go, it's going to be hard for them to have that same feel that we all have missed from playing those Call of Duties in prime time. Yeah.
You know, arguably too, the people that made Call of Duty, this isn't even arguable. The people that made Call of Duty Modern Warfare, they don't work there anymore.
They work there anymore.
They're making Titanfall and they're making Apex.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Like, that's where those guys are.
See that gunplay is what I really like. When you go on Apex, it's like it just feels so good. Titanfall feels so good.
That feels like as good as I remember Modern Warfare feeling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna put it on the Playdate.
I'm sold.
Craig for the
there we go. That's the 12th game. Let's do it. Imagine.
Absolutely.
What was the perk called that made your grenades like when you died, you'd like drop a grenade and it would always like.
Oh, I hated that one.
It was.
What was that perk called?
Martyr, was it Martyr or something like that?
It was
Martyrdom.
Yeah, I hated that.
Oh,
I run over because like I was always really bad.
The crank could be you rolling that grenade along.
No, please.
Martyrdom.
Dear.
Oh my god, whoever thought of that should be.
Yeah.
We got some upcoming games that we're pretty excited about. These are games that are getting announcements, right?
Announcements, some new trailers, maybe a release date coming up soon. some rumors, some are 100% confirmed. So I think first we had Pokemon, right? Which Alex, you want to fill us in on Pokemon?
They have a direct next week on Wednesday the 5th. Which is interesting timing because the Pokemon company specifically don't normally show up at E3. They normally do their own thing. Right. And I was obviously kind of thinking like, Nintendo's E3 this year is going to be pretty exciting because even if they don't announce anything new, they've just got a ton of games coming that they just need to announce dates for.
Dude,
but I was wondering whether
I want Metroid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's the one. That one will definitely be a little bit further out. I mean, but, they need to speak about that. They've got like Animal Crossing, Zelda. They've got Fire Emblem was already announced, but they've obviously got Pokemon. They've got tons of games. But I was wondering whether they would convince the Pokemon company to be at E3. But the fact that they're coming just the week before, I feel like that's going to be. It almost means that if they're clearing the stage, so that Pokemon isn't even needed to be mentioned at E3. I'm like, what else has Nintendo got? But yeah, so they've announced they've got a 15-minute direct, so kind of one of those pre-recorded ones. So 15 minutes of new information on specifically Sword and Shield. They've got like a Pokemon. I think the Pokemon news is rolling out from like today through next week, but today's one is not Sword and Shield related. There's just like loads of other Pokemon news and stuff. But yeah, specifically next week, new Sword and Shield stuff. I'm excited. So it means that it won't be after next week's episode, but I guess the week after we can chat about it. But yeah.
For Nintendo fans, this is the golden age. We're living in it, right? There hasn't been a golden age for Nintendo fans since, Super Nintendo?
Nintendo 64 was pretty good too.
I mean, N64 was great, and even GameCube to a degree. Like a lot of people clowning it at the time, but like when you look back, GameCube had some killer titles.
Also,
and then there was the Wii.
Wii.
I bought GameCube for Resident Evil because they redid Resident Evil on there. And it was just amazing.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Yeah, Wii was
Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Wii,
I don't know. Wii was like for a gamer, we always felt like, yeah, this is cool. I wish that there were more Nintendo games on here, right? I wish there was more.
That's fair. Yeah.
I wish there was less like Wii Sports and more Metroid.
But the Metroid on Wii was incredible, man. Like that was.
What Metroid was for Wii?
You don't remember? You can actually use the motion controls to do the stuff and put in the.
Oh yeah.
It had aiming.
Metroid Prime.
Oh, that was incredible, man.
Was it Metroid Prime 3?
No, not 3.
Wow.
No, they had 2 of them on the Wii, and they were incredible
Metroid
games.
Prime came out for the GameCube originally, right?
Oh, was it Prime 3? It might have been Prime 3.
Okay.
But I know what you mean though. But this is definitely Nintendo Switch has been honestly, it's incredible to see. I mean, Nintendo is. If someone was you can only have one console, or you can only you have to align with one console manufacturer. I'm like, yo, I'm in Camp Nintendo. I'm just over here. And since Switch, it's been incredible.
Switch has been amazing. Yeah.
It genuinely is. It always kind of seems weird to sort of say when it's so early in the life cycle of the grand scheme of things, but Switch genuinely is probably one of my favorite consoles ever.
It's really good. It's super good.
Oh yeah,
I look forward to trips because I get to throw it in the backpack. I get real solid time with it instead of just picking it up for a half hour on the couch and then getting interrupted by a dog that has to pee or something.
Next up we had this is a rumor. So it's just a rumor that's going around, but apparently Last of Us trailer and release date is rumored to be announced next week. So we'll be getting a brand new trailer, and then with that trailer would be the official release date for Last of Us 2.
Wait, is next week E3 or is
the
week after?
Week after.
Yeah, week after.
Okay, so this will be a pre-E3 announcement?
Yeah. But Sony aren't at E3 this year, so.
Yeah. So that's, we don't know anything besides that being a rumor, but that's kind of coming out of nowhere with a lot of companies doing stuff before E3.
Yeah, I could see them doing that, to be honest. I mean, as E3's been evolving over years anyway, it's already kind of expanding to that point. I mean, partly people are setting up their own events outside of E3, and then the window is getting slightly larger. I remember when it used to be super condensed, Monday to Friday, that was your E3. Now it's Saturday to Friday. Now it's Friday to Friday. It's getting a lot bigger. I mean, a lot of people are using that because the thing is, Sony's obviously not there this year anyway, but it's to have a booth at E3 is astronomically expensive. Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of these companies are thinking, you know what, we could legit just do what some companies do and just drop the announcements online, because a lot of the time, half the people can't even go there anyway, and a lot of people kind of just cover trailers online. So they could probably, there is something to be said for having a physical presence there, but I mean, I could just see it's why like Rockstar never show up at E3. They can make everything so big. When they decide to announce GTA 6, they'll just drop a trailer out the blue. They don't go to shows. So I can see like Sony.
They know too. When they release this trailer, everybody's going to be talking about it. Right?
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Like,
yeah,
they don't have to have the big stage at E3 because they've got the big stage that is everybody wants to see Last of Us 2.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Right? Yeah, and I mean. I know maybe they're also trying to sort of do it in a kind of like a steal people's thunder kind of way, right? It's like, Microsoft is on the Sunday, and they obviously know that this year Microsoft is going to be talking about, the next console, because they said last year, you'll find out more next year. So, and if they're not going to be there, they drop their like little kind of blog post before speaking loosely about it. So they're obviously trying to like do a few things beforehand. So maybe they're just trying to swipe some of the attention and be like, by the way, get hyped for Last of Us, and then people are like, oh yeah, it's E3. So I don't know.
That's true.
It's weird strategy, but.
Do you think this indicates Last of Us 2 may come out this year?
I know. I wasn't expecting that. If it does this fall, I'll be like, wow.
If they have a release date next week, we still got a lot of year left for them to be like October, November, December, even, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like if they're announcing a release date next week, that it's looking like it could be this year.
I could see them taking the newly popular Q1 2020 window. People seem to love Q1 now. Like back in the day, no one ever used to release anything, but now like something like January, like I could see like a February 2020 kind of release just before the end of their financial year, so they can still kind of make the benefit within the 2019 fiscal, and then be like, bosh, there it is, and then it then means that you then almost use it to round out the generation, and then that will then roll into Q2 E3, and they'll be like, hey, PlayStation 5 is coming out. So
look, we remaster Last of Us. Buy it again.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's great. So
we've seen 2 trailers at the 2 previous E3s. Last year they had the one that was really weird. They actually had people in like like barn where they showed like the dance in the trailer.
Yep.
And they had kind of like a barn where the press was sitting. And the year before that, in 2017, they kind of first had that first trailer where you saw like kind of that really violent trailer that you didn't really know what was going on. So like they've been showing this game for 2 years. Mm-hmm. It maybe comes out.
Maybe it could.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I wouldn't be shocked to see March 2020 either.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it might be one of these things. It's more hype lead up to them.
Yeah.
Getting ready for their console generation. Next one,
Just please not September. Please just not September.
Please, God.
It's already busy enough.
Not September.
Right. No. And that's a game too where like the spoiler was so big in the first game that I'm not gonna want to get spoiled on the second game. Like I'm gonna be cautious of like hearing anything about Last of Us 2 before I get to play it myself because the spoiler was so strong in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want this game to come out right now. Play it this second.
What? Maybe it just releases next week, Briar.
What's that?
Maybe it just releases next week.
Right?
Release date is now.
If it releases on Tuesday next week, I'll be like, guys, I think I got the flu for the raid.
New marketing strategy. They just put it on the eShop and they don't tell anyone, and they're like, "Oh, it's been out for a week already. Man. You haven't bought it."
God,
like,
right?
Wait, what? Imagine.
I mean, there's still people playing the multiplayer for Last of Us.
Oh yeah,
the game is old now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I might have to play through the first one again. The remaster on the PlayStation 4 was really good.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll probably do the same. Once we get a release date, I'll be doing a playthrough of that before we play 2, just so it's seamlessly goes into it. Fresh.
Did you guys ever get into the multiplayer of the first one?
I played a little bit. I didn't play it hard or anything like that.
I liked it, except for one thing: is you could place these little like proximity mines anywhere in the level, and they were impossible to see. So what people would do is they'd place them like around corners, or they place them on the little loot boxes. Like you had to go around and collect supplies so that you could craft stuff in that multiplayer. So they'd place them on the boxes that were like the loot that you had to pick up to craft. It was so fucking frustrating because you'd just be like, "Ooh, look, loot, boom, dead."
Yeah,
I hated it. What's next? What else are they going to be talking about?
So also something happened from Mr. Kojima. He posted a trailer. Now I'll try and describe the trailer. There were 2 hands, and then there was a thing happening in the hands of some type of image, and then it says, "Help us to reconnect. Does that tell me anything? No. Wish I could tell you more, but I don't understand it.
This is typical Kojima right here.
It is. It so is. So he dropped this trailer, and then the point of this trailer was that there's going to be more information May 29th. And it really seems like from the wording of his tweet was that they're really kind of ramping up now to showing trailer and actual tangible information. And then maybe we get a release date over E3 or around that time.
The fuck does create the rope mean?
Dude, I don't know. Create the rope. Well, create the rope that connects us.
No, you know what it means. You know what it means. It's Kojima's way of when someone's like, "When's the game coming out?" He's like, "How long is a piece of string?" You see, I'm beginning to think all of his trailer ideas, right? It's like they all come out of like whenever he goes for a big night out with the lads, whenever he like gets the movie star guys over and they go out drinking and eating good food, and then he gets really drunk. He's like, I've got the next trailer idea. Hold on, guys. And then he just pieces it together like, yeah, it's cool. Like we'll just throw like a pretentious phrase in it, and then people will love it. And then,
I don't actually ever want this game to come out. I just want them to keep marketing this game.
The idea of it.
I just want to see.
You know what I really want? You know what I would love? You know the trailer they showed like last year at E3 with the really confusing one with the FedEx guy with the
FedEx with the baby.
Yep.
Imagine if they released a 20-minute gameplay video of just a guy carrying parcels for nothing but 20 minutes. He's just walking along like woo 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 woo. And
basically, it's Paperboy in the apocalypse.
Yeah, that sounds like a great game. Actually, I would play that game.
Hell yeah.
Create the rope, cut the rope, grab the rope, become the rope. Just gonna see that going on for another year.
Yeah.
This guy, I mean, he just makes batshit crazy stuff. It's just so bizarre.
Dude, it looks so crazy.
Some people do. I've never been a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid. I know that's probably pisses a lot of people off, but
I love Metal Gear.
I like him as a person. I like watching him do things. Like the way his creativity is portrayed. Like it's just fun. It's just fun to watch him.
I feel like he's gonna make like a great grandpa when he's older and he sits down and he's like, and like they're like, hey, can you tell us some stories? He's like, let me tell you the story of the rope. Like, oh. And then it'll be the grandpa who like tells you a story for like 10 hours. Like, we need to go home now. He's like, no, hold on a minute. I have only just begun.
I can totally
that was just the intro.
I could see it.
In The Rope 2, the rope is actually played by a different rope.
Oh,
it's a different brand. Different brand of rope.
Blown.
Different
brand. There was something that I didn't put on the list for today, but I do want to bring it up really quickly. Neo 2.
Oh, that's right. The closed alpha
is in alpha.
Oh,
yeah.
It's currently in closed alpha right now.
Didn't the first one come out last year?
2017.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
When it came
out. Was it 2017?
They had DLC came out, but like, yeah.
For those of you that don't know what Neo is, it's an action role-playing video game very similar to that of a Dark Souls type game.
Yep.
And it's interesting from what I've heard of people playing this alpha. Neo made Dark Souls feel really slow to them, but now Sekiro has made Neo feel really slow to them.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we've seen some gameplay. There's like videos of 20 minutes of Neo 2 gameplay out there.
Really?
So
yeah, I got access to it. I need to play it before it goes away. I think it's
it's June 2nd.
June 2nd is when it goes away. Yeah. Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah, I really want to play it. Like, they were kind of sending it out like in a small wave, so I haven't had a chance to actually play it but it looks really cool because they've got some really interesting new systems in there. There's like one of them where there seems to be like a transformation system where you can. I obviously haven't like played it, so I don't know how it works in gameplay. But from the trailer, it looks like you can basically. I think it's an extension of the system before, where like you would always have like a spiritual being with you, but now you can then embody that and transform into these crazy different forms. So it looks really, really cool. So I had a lot of fun with Neo, like the first one. That was like a really cool game.
Yeah, it was fun.
I want to see what they do with this one.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So guys, this is a new podcast and we're all still getting to know each other a little bit. So what I thought would be fun today is to do a little bit of a team building exercise, right? Like you go to a conference and there's some lady who's a little bit too energetic and she wants everybody to talk. Right?
Yeah, and you really don't want to, and then they force you to talk and give an introduction in front of everybody.
Like,
you know
her too. Right. So today I'll be playing the part of the lady that's too energetic, doing the team building exercise.
Classic Briar.
So today we're going to play a little game called Two Truths and One Lie. We're going to go around the panel. I think we'll start with Watts because she looks the most uncomfortable.
I'm not prepared at all. I haven't thought about this. I don't know what to say.
Everybody is going to say 3 things about themselves. Of those 3 things, 2 things will be the truth, and 1 thing will be a lie. Does anybody want to volunteer to go first? I have mine written down, so I can go first if you want.
Sure.
Okay. 2 truths, 1 lie. I have been to jail. I have worked as a motivational speaker, and I punched my middle school principal.
I'm going to say the lie is punching your middle school principal.
I'm going to go with motivational speaker as a lie. The rest just seem too Briar brand right there.
No, I could see the motivational speaker. I could see like, be like, get up and come on. So I'm gonna go with the punching the principal as well. I don't think that was true.
See, I know your dad's a motivational speaker, so I imagine he roped you into some of that.
So I have never been a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Kefty's right. My father is a motivational speaker. I have indeed punched my middle school principal.
And been to jail.
I have been to jail. Surprising nobody with the jail part. Like,
I was like, when you said the Molotov cocktail story, I was like, yeah, you've been to jail. Clearly.
Amazing.
I'll go next.
Okay.
All right.
First game I ever played was Doom on MS-DOS. I've had a song placed on the show, The L Word, the Showtime show, The L Word. And I completed the Mountaintop Quest in 18 hours in Destiny. Ooh. Which one is a lie?
What was the first one?
First game I ever played was Doom on MS-DOS.
Okay.
I think that's a lie.
Yeah, I feel like the Destiny one was far too specific just to be made up. Like 18 hours later, like that's how I memorized that. That's like I need to quote this on a regular basis kind of thing. So that's like
I'm bragging. This is a humble brag.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Doom as well. I'm gonna go with I feel like Doom. I feel like you played other games before Doom.
Yeah,
I'll go with Doom. I'll go with Doom as well.
I should have dated it further back. That was the lie. The first game I ever played was Duck Hunt on Nintendo. And I have had a song on The L Word.
I think you mentioned that on DMP.
That's amazing.
One time.
Did I? Damn.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah,
I knew that.
That's really
I should have picked
cool.
a different show.
Fair.
All right, who's next?
I can go, sure. I'll go next.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so first one is that I used to perform gymnastics across the world. Second one is that I've been to jail. Third one is that I was denied entry to the US.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with denied entry to the US.
Okay.
I'm gonna say jail. I don't. Yeah.
I can't see anybody putting Watts in jail.
I could see you.
Yeah.
I could see you protesting and getting thrown in jail for something because of protesting. I could see that.
It's fair.
Or getting thrown in jail for illegal gymnastics across the world.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, Briar, what did you think?
I think it's jail. I can't see anybody putting you in jail.
So the lie was jail. I've never been to jail. The other two are true. Yeah.
Cool.
Why were you not admitted into the United States?
So that story is, so I'm a British citizen. I'm still a British citizen, but I have a green card. And my uncle lives in Atlanta. So I was going back and forth to look after him because he wasn't doing very well. So I would stay for 3 months at a time. I'd go back for like 3 months and then come for 3 months. And the whole story was actually really bad because I ended up going on the news about this guy because basically this guy who was interrogating me was saying
he saw your KD. He's like, no,
he saw that
in here.
Oh, it's he basically was asking to go on a date.
Oh,
and I
nice.
was like, no.
Class act.
And then as soon as I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not interested. He was like, you're not coming into America. And then I was put back on the plane because people probably don't know this, but it's down to the individual officer's discretion. So if an officer just doesn't want to let you in, you're not getting in. Wow. So I ended up submitting a complaint, an official complaint about this guy, of course, but they all do it internally. So, you know, it's those officers working with the other officers to see if they did something wrong. So nothing came of that. And I was on the news about it because the news wanted to talk to me about it. Yeah, so that was fun.
That's
fun.
Intense.
It was very fun. Then I had to get a visa to be able to travel.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yes.
All right, so my ones. I have voiced a minor character in Monster Hunter World. Ooh. I have my very own beard oil, and my name is in the credits of a AAA video game.
Oof. I believe all of these.
All of these. I'm gonna go with the first one is a lie. The voice in Monster Hunter World. Go with that one because I could see the credit thing happening. Could totally see that happening. The beard oil, yeah,
that's obvious. Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Monster Hunter voicing because here's the thing: if that's true, then the AAA title would be true as well. One of them has to be false because you have to be credited if you did voice it, and that's a AAA title. Would you consider? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna say he was a voice in Monster Hunter, but he wasn't credited, so he's never had his name in the credits for AAA title.
The loophole.
All right. What's the for reals?
Oh
no! I thought he was just listening.
He's frozen.
He's frozen. The world will never know.
Eric, you're frozen.
That was amazing. I thought it was just intensely listening.
The most incredible time for the camera to freeze.
Maybe I was just pausing. Sorry, what were you saying, Brian? What was your choice?
I said that I believe that you voiced the character in Monster Hunter, but that you weren't credited. So I think the lie is that you're credited in a AAA video game.
So the lie was voicing a character in Monster Hunter World.
Yes.
I do have my beard oil, and I'm credited in Forza Horizon because that's the first game that I worked on when I was in the games industry.
Nice.
Oh wow,
that was fun. So yeah, that was did like a few other ones, but the other ones were not mentioned. So yeah,
that's great.
Awesome,
man. I feel like we built some teamwork, and
we know that don't mess with Briar is what I learned.
Exactly.
This is why we're eating Briar. This is why we're eating Briar. He's too
exactly. All right. That's the show then, right?
I think that
was a good show. I feel like I came out knowing more about Dauntless and about my friends.
Yes.
Exactly. There we go.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you very much for watching SideQuest. We really appreciate it. Support on the Patreon makes the show happen as well. And next week we'll be talking about more video game stuff and more topics. I don't know exactly what because I don't think we know yet.
You just kind of come to us. And also, Tobias is making his usual appearance at the end of the show.
Excellent.
Because he knows when it's ending. I don't
know. If you want to talk more to me, you can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. You can catch my streams, twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. And if you would like to support me, that is the best place. Subbing on there is the best place for that. Oh, I also got a creator code finally. Epic creator code. So Tefty
nice.
Teft. Yeah.
Soon we will be battling to see who gets the most code.
Battle of the epic codes. I've been now when I get teabagged on in PvP, I'm like, yo, use code Tefty Teft when you're buying Fortnite skins, man. Thanks. All right.
Tobias is going crazy. I miss 5,000 watts. You can find me at Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Search Miss 5,000 watts. I should be streaming today in about an hour. I'm going to get some lunch, and then we're going to do raid prep.
Nice.
Raid prep.
Can you play some? Can you do an account recovery for me?
I could, if it was for comp, I'd be all about that, but we already did that.
Briar needs mountaintop watts. Can you do mountaintop for me?
I'll be burgers at a Memorial Day barbecue.
Hey, that sounds great.
Amazing. You can find me over at Twitter, Arx and Arx Gaming on YouTube, and I'll be covering a lot of things. I think there's I don't know what's on the schedule for this week. Everything there's so much stuff pre-E3 that I'll just be like, I'll just cover whatever drops in the morning. I'll wake up and be like, oh, yep, there's work today. So yeah,
nice.
That's me.
Awesome.
I'm Brian Rabbit. You can find me eating burgers at a barbecue. Or at court.
Getting out of jail.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Much. We'll be back next week, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Was it 9 p.m. British time?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go.
Yep.
Next week for another episode.
Quest complete.
Quest complete. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.